Hey, welcome to the Dukes of Sports. I'm Randy Lively.
With Paul Perry again.
Again. All right.
Still hanging in there. I don't know.
So.
A bit windy today.
Oh, boy, yeah. We tape on Wednesdays. So we got the non-named storm this week.
Yeah.
Little chilly out there.
Yeah. Probably be pouring by the time we get out of here.
Not as chilly as the Republicans are this morning.
I don't talk politics. You
Oh,
want to talk sports?
No, I have nothing to say. The
All right.
Patriots
That was
didn't
a good
play.
day. I hope you have a good
Yeah,
time.
have a good week.
Be a good fan. What do you got?
Yeah, Patriots had a bye week, so hopefully that'll heal a couple of wounds. They got Buffalo coming to town Sunday.
They're trying to help your nemesis. They got a defensive back. Bad boy, right? Safety.
Yeah.
They know that they went against their nature of supposedly picking up bad boys, we'll call it.
Right.
But all the reports from his ex-coach is good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
if you can
it might be one of those that he's had.
Stay out of trouble.
You want to come with us? You probably might get a starting job. Just stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, the old Belichick.
Oh yeah.
And the Patriots. You know, what they expect from ball players.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll work out for him.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot to talk about. Atlanta's still undefeated.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. It's tough to go undefeated the whole season.
But no, they're still playing well.
But you see the you know, like what I'm thinking of is like Green Bay teams. They started slow. They're back in the mix.
Oh, of course.
Remember the old get into the tournament?
Yep.
They're back in the mix, and actually they should be in first place if it wasn't for the bogus call back in the beginning of the preseason that was prolonged so longer.
Well, you know, if the Celtics, Jesus.
Yeah, right.
If the Patriots play to their capabilities, they should be undefeated. I mean, three losses by a total of 4 points.
Right. But, you know, I laugh at that. It's true, though. I'm sticking up for them, but that's how that's how they got a lot of victories in the past years themselves, by beating teams by the few points.
Yeah.
You know,
but
like the old, you almost said it too, the Celtics old days, all those championships, you probably could clump, and this is off my head, 4 or 5 of them, and there would have been a total of under 10 points, but they won that 7th game.
Well, they
you know what I mean saying?
Yeah, but they were, I mean, that was quite an era.
Definitely. That was that was probably one of the an era of one of the best franchise building teams.
Yes, but
of the sport. So football.
Celtics. Well, they got off to a slow start. They lost their first 2, then had a win. I mean, they got throttled by Miami, but then they came home and they got beat by Milwaukee, for crying out loud. Before they
haven't got a victory yet. Now.
They won their 3rd game.
Oh, okay.
So, but
shows you how much I follow basketball.
They certainly weren't playing a hell of a lot of defense early on, but but they got some new faces. It's going to take a little while to mesh. They don't play a whole lot of exhibition games, and when they do, not everybody's playing the minutes that they would be in a regular season game. So hopefully that's all it is. It's just going to take just a short while of time for these guys to get used to playing with one another and starting to mesh, especially on defense.
Professional basketball, there's a lot of it's tough to, I mean, I say it's easy to make a franchise because you just need one or two top players.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good ball players in NBA. I mean, because you only have to have 5 on the court at a time.
Yeah, but I mean, you need at least a good core of 7 or 8.
I was just going to say 8.
To,
3 subs,
to
interchangeables.
to compete.
Yeah, stamina.
And and to do well in the playoffs. But
And it's a very the successful team really, majority of the time, has got to be a team orientated.
but I still think the talent level doesn't compare to going back to what you were talking about, like the heyday of the Celtics, and I don't think they have the skills. They might be more athletic,
Yes.
but I don't think they have the shooting skills necessarily.
Yeah, that was a nice era. If
Because back then there was no 3-point shot, and you had to really earn your points, and the mid-range jumper, which seems to be a lost art, that was a big thing back then, and I like I said, I won't deny that the average NBA player today is a lot more physically fit and athletically better than the majority of the players from years and years ago. But I think those players were much more fundamentally sound and more skilled.
Of the game of basketball.
Yeah, in the fundamentals.
Offense and defense.
Yeah. But, it's a different era.
It's a different era because of this era, and didn't just happen overnight, but it's a one-on-one era.
Yeah, well, it's dunking and 3 points, and
Yeah.
a lot more showboating.
Yeah. See, I've always maintained, because it has changed in the years. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, if you could dunk the ball, you were like, oh my God.
In high school?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
I can remember
There wasn't a lot of that
in high school at our practice, we put a table that was 3 feet off the ground and 3 feet high, and it would be one of these trick things. If you had a video camera, we would jump off the table, we're already 3 feet, and dunk it. And everybody was like, this was us, you're talking junior and senior kids in high school. And that was a big thing to dunk the ball. But if you had a camera and you showed a dunk and didn't show the table, you wouldn't know we did it. Now, kids 5'4" just seem to have the spring in their legs. I don't know.
Now, wait a minute.
No, I'm just saying.
Wait.
How tall was
no.
Archibald?
No, I'm not talking about that. He was maybe 5'10" or 11.
Was he that tall?
But, no, I got to go back to a comment you made.
What?
Let's face it.
What did I miss?
When you were in high school,
Yeah.
there
Go
was
ahead.
no such thing as a video camera.
Correct.
8 millimeter, maybe?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I said video because of now. You're right. But if I had a movie camera and
Yeah.
did the movie camera, that would be the same
Yeah.
way.
Now, those were...
That's the trick
That was a
photography.
classic camera, those 8 millimeters.
Oh,
Jeez, the
then
home
you're
movies.
sitting there and the coaches would play him, and all of a sudden the screen would get
Yeah.
the screen would go like distorted. Well, it's tape, the film is burning because
Yeah.
it got hung up, and he puts it on rewind, and what a mess.
Yeah.
I can remember you have to watching the film half the time was trying to fix the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
Or they'd
and the-
show it on a wall or
Yeah, right,
a white bed
sheet.
sheet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, but flipping back
Go ahead.
to football for just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed on the Dukes Facebook page, I put what I felt was my grade for the Patriots offense, defense, special
When did you
teams
do that?
a few days ago.
I didn't see it.
So what I graded the team out as at the midpoint of their season, I gave them an A- on offense. I gave them a C+ on defense. I gave special teams a B, and I gave the overall team a B.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Well, I didn't analyze like you. I
Well,
agree with the overall.
No, it's just gut feeling.
I agree with the overall. Offensively, A minus.
That's what I said.
Yeah, A minus, B plus at the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Special teams. That incorporates kickoffs,
Field
punt
goals.
returns. Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
and
You-
the other
you didn't
way
say
too.
would
Punt coverage,
Yeah, what'd you say on defense?
C plus.
A C plus. I'm surprised you were that generous.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
That's in a good mood.
I maybe wouldn't even gone any higher than a C.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, that's why I'm surprised that you was a C plus. I mean, because you've been on their
Oh.
back so much, on their backs.
I have. Yeah.
Because that's part of that's your
Well,
defense.
I've seen a-
Because I mean, if you see, I think if you remarked yourself and said defensive line, and then put linebackers maybe in safeties together, two groups.
Oh well. Yeah.
Defensive line, grade it. Then if you want to include the rest of the defense, the linebackers and the safeties together, or even you could have three, but at least two. In other words, I wouldn't incorporate the defensive line with the overall defense.
Yeah. Well.
As a grade, that's all. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, because I think the defensive line is better than C+. But it's like the whole
yeah,
thing,
well-
you're marking the whole thing, though. You're marking everything.
I might give.
That's what maybe kept it a C+ is because your defensive line.
I might give the defensive line a B minus.
Yeah.
Only because I'm still not enamored with the pass rush.
Pass rush, yes.
It seems like they often get it from a linebacker, not the front four.
No, but I'm sure you must realize that a lot of these defensive plays like that one, it's set up by the lineman taking out a guy so your linebacker can go through the hole.
Right.
You know that,
But
right?
the reason why
I mean, it looks like the linebacker's getting it, but the lineman's got to
But the
get the guy.
reason why they have to keep sending the linebackers, I mean, they don't do it regularly, but the need for it is because the front four
Can't get it.
can't get it enough pressure
Yeah.
in a consistent
Give them
basis.
time. They're young, too.
Now, yeah, you're right. If I was grading out the defensive backs, I'd probably
Right.
give them a D.
Yes. See, that's why
So
I
I
that's
just gave
why I
an
was.
overall. On offense, if you broke it down, I'd probably give the running game.
Right.
And when you talk about the running game, you got to include the offensive line too, because if the holes ain't there, I don't care who you got back there.
Jim Brown's not going to run through them.
You probably give the running game an A this year. But I thought, A minus. I couldn't give the offense a straight A because in a couple of games that they ended up losing,
Well,
they couldn't close out a game at the end. Of course, neither could the defense for that matter.
well, the offense still doesn't have that deep threat that you want.
No.
They don't have it, so you can't throw it. Like
Well, they should. I mean, Brandon Lloyd is supposed to be that guy. They
No.
just don't do it very much,
right.
But because I watch all these other games and I see these teams, and as long as that pass is, even if it's not caught, but if it's pretty much on the money,
You know who gets a lot of passes
they're
like that?
getting pass interference
Giants.
calls.
The Giants game, because we
Yeah.
seem to see a lot of the Giants game naturally. And the Cruz,
Yeah.
he's not a big kid. UMass, matter of fact, small school, really.
Oh yeah.
UMass Amherst. But he gets out there, and just like you said, if he doesn't catch it, you have 50-50 odds that the defensive guy
He's going to interfere. with
hanging
him.
on him. And if you don't catch it, you don't catch it.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So.
The deep threat.
So anyway, getting back, so
Go ahead.
what's your opinion? The Patriots are halfway through the year.
Oh, I think they're going to get into the playoffs, and then I think anything can happen into the tournament because they win their division, they draw a bye.
Yeah, but
You only need
how do
two
you think the defense is holding up? I mean, I got them up to a C plus because the last couple of games have been, better.
Well, I mean, look who they
Well,
who
I
they
know.
play. They played the Rams, which is bad, and the Bills are hurting again. Meaning they're at the point of they start pretty good in the beginning.
Yeah.
This week's game, I don't know why they changed it from 1 o'clock to 4:25.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's
usually when you change it is because it's a
I'm sure it's a TV thing.
statistics. It's going to be a big draw. Well, if the Bills play, it's at Gillette.
Yep.
So if the Bills play the way they have been playing lately, Patriots shouldn't have any problem with them.
Well, maybe the other late games are not even as good a matchup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's true because they've run out of games because of what we said almost a month ago. Every time you turn around, Monday night, Sunday, starting the weekend, you got your weekend games, Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. So that's 3 nights, and it used to be just 1.
And then there's, teams every week now are on a bye.
Yeah.
So
they might, like we just said, it used to be weekend and 1 Monday night game.
Oh, yeah.
So now they've added 2 more, so that takes away the selection, like you just said.
Yeah.
Matchups.
Yep.
Matchups,
But,
and sometimes those matchups. Well, I think the industry has changed a lot now. In the old days, they used to have to pick it and live with it.
Yeah.
They do still have to pick it and live with it when you only got 1 game, say a Monday night.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they would turn out to be a laugher. I always wondered why they never always had like 2 games on a Monday night, and you had 1 game in a certain part of the country and the other in the other. And if one was getting blown out, you switch over to the other because they do that on the weekends on a Sunday game. If a game is being blown out, other than local game,
Well, yeah.
meaning say if it was the Patriots and they're blowing out somebody, they'll stay with the Patriots. But everybody else who's watching that game, they'll swap. If you're in New York, they'll swap that game over to Atlanta or in Chicago. And
Yeah.
and they do that on Sundays, but of course they got more to pick from.
But not that many years ago, there used to be the 1 Monday night game. Everybody else was playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they'd be playing Sunday afternoon, either 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't
And
even
those-
Sunday night, come to think of it.
Those days are long gone now.
Yeah.
So Red Sox, not much going on with them. Been pretty quiet.
All the
Except
only thing
they re-signed your buddy.
yeah. Hey,
2
live with
years.
it. They're not my buddy, but
2 years, $26 million.
I think he's happy.
He should be. He can
He's
get-
like a politician. You either like him or you don't. You vote for him or you don't. And a lot of the fans love him. Fine. That doesn't mean I'm close to being right. The only thing that's been in the papers about your Red Sox is center fielder, Ellsbury. They figured they're going to trade him. I read this morning's paper. Man, these writers really got pipe dreams on what they're going to get for these people.
Oh, what do they think they're getting for him?
Well, they're always looking for top-notch pitchers. That's one thing. Well, they were breaking it down and saying, what do the Red Sox need? They said, this is what the Red Sox need.
Well, they're going to need a center fielder if they get rid of him.
They go like this. Well, Red Sox will be looking to rebuild the team I'm talking about. Never mind the trade. Starting pitchers, 2 outfielders, a shortstop, and a first baseman. Well, my adding up, that's 4, not counting the pitching spot, that's 4 positions out of 8 that are on the field all the time. That's half your team. And starting pitchers, these guys, I think I don't know, maybe they sniff a little too much glue.
Well,
They're pipe dreams. I mean,
well,
it's like, what did you tell me the other day? Was it you? About somebody asked me to, that shows you my train of thought. What I want and what you can have.
oh, no, that wasn't.
It wasn't you, it was somebody else. It was
It's
something.
probably your wife.
No, somebody else. It might have been I was looking to buy a new camera. That's what it was. I wanted to get a new camera. And what I want and what I can get. Sure, I'd want a Cadillac, but I got to get a Ford.
Yeah.
And that's the same with, this is today's paper.
Well,
that's 4 first, shortstop, and 2 outfielders. Because they figure they're going to lose the guy that I told you I like. right from day one, I've always said I like Cody Ross. I don't need newspapers to
If
tell
they
me.
lose him, it's their own fault.
Yeah, and he did get the 10th player award. We discussed
good.
that a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
well, he should have.
And he did get it. There was nothing else to pick from.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a no-brainer.
No, but he deserved
What
it.
it could have been better if they could have given it to Gonzalez or something while he was in L.A. That would have been a kick in the. That would have been a sign that if there was one of those guys that they really liked, because the Boston fans all stuck on that trade, they loved it, the majority. If one of the guys they traded, they really did like, player A, and they voted him as the 10th player award, and he got traded, that would have been a real, to tell the ownership, hey guys,
Yeah.
take our hint. But
No,
yeah.
that was...
Because they figure he's gone. So if he's gone,
Well, why? I mean, they can sign him.
oh yeah, they can sign him,
So-
but he's going to be looking for greener pastures. I think
I think he
Ortiz
liked-
signed, like you said, he got good bucks, but he's in an environment that he likes. It's going to be real tough for him to have the fans turn against him within 2 years.
Yeah, no. I mean, he got 2 years. He got $26 million, and I think certain bonuses or performances. He could go
he
as
could
high
go
as
up to
30.
30. Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
So
I heard
not,
that.
not a bad deal.
Yeah.
But why the Red Sox wouldn't sign Ross, I don't know. Of course, why they traded Marco Scutaro last year, I don't know either. But
They didn't even trade him. They just
No, they
told
did.
him to leave town.
no, they traded him.
I know, but I'm just saying the way, they signed him.
They
and
didn't get much for him.
You think he probably? I hope he sent a thank you card to the
Yeah.
Red Sox ownership.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
Yeah.
Every San Francisco fan should have sent one.
Yeah, because I don't know. He may be a free agent this year.
Yes, he is.
It'd be funny if they re-signed him.
Well,
But
baseball's getting like a lot of the sports. What can you do for me now? Not what you did for me.
well,
but-
he did.
He did,
He
but,
had a
you
good
know-
year for the Red Sox. He hit 300. Had some power, RBIs.
Wasn't flashy enough. He didn't disturb anybody. He didn't backstab
Disturb
anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't flashy enough. He wasn't in the press enough. He didn't talk to the press, not because I bet he didn't want to. Nobody interviewed him
Well,
to speak.
I saw him.
He got more
on
interviews during the
on
World Series and the
occasion.
playoffs than he did in the whole year. How long was he with the Sox? He was here a couple of years, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He got more interviews in the playoff in the World Series
Well,
just at the end of the games.
he was, right place at the right time.
Well, it
But
came down to the
but
way
he delivered too.
It came down to
But-
what I've said a lot of times in playoffs and tournaments. Sometimes the star players, these other teams pitch around them, so you're a
Yeah.
guy you don't expect. You got to pitch to somebody.
Yeah, but no, I had no problem with him.
Yeah.
And like I said, why they got rid of him, I have no idea. He wasn't getting obscene money.
He was dirt cheap.
Well, not.
Well,
He
in
got $6 million.
comparison
He
to
was-
a lot
he
of
got
guys.
$6 million
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, to you and I, yeah, that's not chump change, but
But that's not outrageous money, but they traded him for not much, and so. But the thing is, if they let Ross go, I mean, he's a free agent. They got nothing for him.
unless they try to sign him, is that what you're saying? Or no?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's a free agent, so I'm amazed that they haven't already, offered him some sort of a contract. I mean, I think if you offered him, maybe you'd have to offer him 3 years. But
Well, we know they did Ortiz for
if he's not greedy and necessarily has to go for the top dollar, he should know, as well as the Red Sox, is his swing is made for Fenway Park.
Oh.
And he may, somewhere else, maybe he'll get a couple more bucks, but is he going to put up the same
Well,
numbers?
That was a signing
Good
point.
chance, no.
That was a signing point when they got him. Sherrington told him that, you come to Fenway, you could be outstanding with this ballpark, made kind of tailor-made for your type of ball player, and it might help you next year when you go free agent. They're saying all the good things to get him to sign last year, and he says, okay. So he went,
Yeah.
And he did have his year he needed
Right.
to make his value.
But, some other team may look and say, well, geez, the confines of our ballpark aren't suited to the
Right.
way he hits the ball.
Right.
On the other hand, there'll be some stupid team out there that'll probably offer more than he's worth.
Yeah.
But if he wants to play where,
Right. And then he
he's-
becomes a star. And
well,
stays.
let's face it, he's well liked in Boston.
Excuse me.
Rightfully so. He didn't say anything stupid last year. He pretty much shut up and played the game. Not enough of them did that. He certainly is worth having on your team. And like I said, I'm a little surprised that the Red Sox, haven't made a move. You wait too long, you're going to lose him.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to sit around waiting forever if he gets a better offer. And, the Sox aren't making any signs of what they might want to offer him to stay. Well, at that point, he's going to say, well, geez, I've got to go where I know I've got an offer, because if I'm waiting for the Red Sox, somebody else has offered me something, but I hold them up, maybe they're just going to turn around and offer it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So, so we'll see. But
Ellsbury.
Yes.
You just said.
so what do they think?
Well, with Ross, you just said the ballpark should fit him, and meaning where he might go. Where would you think Ellsbury could fit? That's actually, I'm throwing at you.
Pretty much anywhere, because
His
hitting
wise, not everywhere.
for one thing, he's got the defense. He can steal your bases. I don't think he's going to be, necessarily a 25 to 30 home run hitter, but maybe he can get you 18, 22.
Yeah.
So he should be able to handle that. The thing is, and we've talked about this before, he's only had that one real good
Right.
year. And he, is shown to be injury prone, so there's, some risk in there. But we're running right up on the first half of the show,
Okay.
so we can pick this up during the second half. And quiet. There we go. We're going to be back. 2 minutes tops. So please pay attention to our underwriters. You're going to hear a little bit about them. And don't go too far away from the screen, because like I said, we'll be back very shortly. 125 years and still teaching the world to sing. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support the Dukes of Sports. Some of the products offered by Coca-Cola that you can enjoy are Dasani Water, Powerade, Minute Maid Juices, Vitamin Water, Fuse, V8, and Honest Tea.
With 15 offices from the Canal to Provincetown, our experienced and professional agents get the job done, whether you are buying or selling. We also offer summer vacation rentals and can assist in mortgage financing, serving the most buyers and sellers across the entire Cape. Check us out at kinlandgrover.com.
Heritage Floor Covering supports the Dukes of Sports and has a spacious and extensive showroom to browse through. Cheryl and Russell are fully insured and offer free estimates. We sell the best and you pay less. 508-833-7600.
The Sagamore Inn is pleased to support the Dukes of Sports. Feel free to visit our website, SagamoreInnCapeCod.com, for our full menu, catering, and directions. Ask us how you can get a free meal on your next birthday. 508-888-9707.
Dr. Leslie Harmon of Sandwich Animal Hospital, 508-888-2774, gladly supports the Dukes of Sports. We offer lifetime care for dogs, cats, birds, reptiles, rabbits, and more with an on-site diagnostic laboratory, complete pharmacy, medical diets, microchipping, professional grooming, and flea bath appointments. 508-888-8225.
Sandwich Car Wash, Route 130, also does detailing. Express detail in half an hour or less while you wait, or the works by appointment at 508-833-1522, where you can arrange to use Bubbles, our courtesy car. Gift cards available as well. Make a unique gift.
Hey, we're back. Told you it wouldn't take too long. Hope you enjoyed seeing and hearing about our underwriters. And as usual, if you're a regular viewer, and if you're not, you should be, we're going to have Paul tell us a little bit about some of the weekend goings-on in local football.
Yeah, we got our high school recap, week of 11-3. I'll tell you, before I go and say that, I'd like, if you are watching this show in the area where high school sports are concerned, if you guys are hearing these reports, we've asked you to give us comments and everything on Dukes of Sports. Also say if you like these little reports we're giving you on, your local 3 high schools that we give a little recap. So we'll start with Bowen Canalman this past weekend. They went to the town of Rockland. They got thrashed, 41-8.
Ouch. Ouch.
Bowen's got a good football team, and actually the 3 teams we talk about this year have done well, but they've got snake bitten. But this is the second time, though, this year that they did get beat, 41-8. They were just overmatched. So at this point of the season, the Canalman 4 wins and 5 losses overall, and in their own conference, which that Rockland game was not, they're 4-3. Yeah, that'd be right.
Sounds right. Yeah.
That'd be right. And then this weekend they play at home against Bishop Stang at Jackson Field in Bourne. And then they'll be, 10 days later, they'll be ending with their rivals Wareham during Thanksgiving, who lost this past weekend to Dighton Rehoboth. Remember, I've been predicting all year that Wareham was the team to beat. It was Dighton Rehoboth and Wareham. And this is just a little extra. But that was the Dighton Rehoboth game. This is how funny high school is. That's one of the games that Bourne lost in the last minute. Mm-hmm. And if they should have beaten Dighton Rehoboth. And if Dighton Rehoboth would have been a 3-way tie if they, like we just said, some teams are better than they just, than their record showed.
Yeah.
So that's about it for them. Sandwich Blue Knights, they also lost this weekend, 34-6 to Nauset. And I'd like to bring up a point of last week. I said that last week's show, I already said that they had lost to Nauset on the show. Well, that was an error. They didn't play Nauset 2 weeks in a row. It was Cohasset last week, the week before they lost. But nevertheless, they did lose to Nauset, who's the number 1 team in the Atlantic Coast League. They're tied with Plymouth South, who, they're again 2 schools that we don't talk about, but it's high school football, who are going for their head-to-head this weekend up in Plymouth South, and for first place of the Atlantic Coast. Whichever team wins there will be in the Super Bowl of their division. So Zach Wagner, the only good thing about that game that I saw was Zach had thrown a 7-yard touchdown pass to John Stanton. That was for the only score. So right now, Sandwich Blue Knights, they've got the identical record that the Bourne Canalmen have of 4-5 in their conference, though they have a 2-3. They go to DY this weekend, and then they finish on Thanksgiving Day at Mashpee. And the other team we got, my baby boomers have really grown up this year.
Still undefeated?
Still undefeated.
All right.
They're 8-0. They played a tough West Bridgewater team coming in. Tough meaning, it was a tough West Bridgewater.
You should tell them who your baby boomer team is.
Excuse me, if you've been watching our show, you know my baby boomers are the UCT Rams in Bourne.
Right, and he says that because this is only their 3rd year.
Right, it's only their 3rd year in the program,
football.
But technically it's a 3rd year having a football program. That first year was just a freshman. Last year they played a varsity, and this year's their only 2nd varsity. Right now, no matter how this season ends, they have been phenomenal this year for a team that's had only 2 years in the varsity.
8-0?
8-0, and in their own In their own conference, they're 4-0 now. So,
So who did they play again?
they played West Bridgewater and they beat them 34-22. 12 points sounds like they were close, but take my word, it wasn't even that close. It was like 34 to take away about 16, and the JVs played the last 5-6 minutes. But West Bridgewater came in and they tried to contain John Dumont, which they basically did, but he still got 107 yards. But he was the decoy of the game, because let's face it, if you're coming in to play the Rams, Dumont was the guy you got to stop.
Yep.
But if you stop Dumont, you got to have guys like Dylan Derby. Now Dumont got 107 yards. That sounds like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a low
Right?
week for him.
He has got now 1,135 yards. That averages out, I did it this time, 152 yards. They played 8 games. He only played 7.
Yeah.
He's only played 7. Now, Dylan come in, Dylan Derby, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. One was a 72-yard sprint. The kid is quick. And the only reason, and it isn't the only reason, they do shuffle him. But Dumont just seems to get the limelight because he does a lot of the big plays.
Yeah.
But Dylan did a great job. The quarterback, Eldridge, he ran for a touchdown for a 1-yarder. He passed to Matt Hotley, 15-yard pass that when he threw that one, that killed the game. You know how that one TD you want? And, you know, I mean, we're talking about the Rams, but I don't want to, Leon Canali, he also did well on the offense. So what they did was they keyed on Dumont, but Dylan and Canali, they just couldn't stop 3 guys.
Yep.
And you know, the defense, I'll give you a mention of the defensive guys' names: Cardozo, Strawn, Hill, and Fisher. Just to mention a few, and they all contribute. So this weekend, they're going up to what they call a school, Holbrook Avon. Just, you know, two school football, I guess.
2 towns share.
2 town, yeah. And I think it's in the town of Holbrook. I'm trying to think of going up myself. But right now, they beat Holbrook Avon. They beat them. They're going to be undefeated in the conference. They will go to the Division V Super Bowl. If they lose, both teams will have 1 loss. But Avon still has another conference game. They got 2 more, actually. But the big one is Thanksgiving against their rival of West Bridgewater, who won UCT just beat. So if they go into Thanksgiving with 1 loss, both schools, UCT's done. They're already done. Their record would be done. But if West Bridgewater beats them, they can get in that way. It's a backdoor jobber, but they can still get in.
So the tech school doesn't play a Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, we have a Thanksgiving game, but it's against Cape Cod Tech of Harwich, but it's not a conference game.
Oh, okay.
So their last conference game is this coming Saturday. So there'll be 9-game season done in Thanksgiving. But reverse is what you just said. Holbrook Avon, their Thanksgiving game is a conference game.
Yep.
And if they win Saturday, they're in Division V. And you just can't say enough about the kids. You know, 2-year program of varsity and being in that. I don't care what division either. You'll have everybody say, everybody that's above them. Division 3, Division 4. Oh, they're only Division 5. I don't care. You still got to go out and do the job.
That's right.
So that's about it on the recap. I hope you guys enjoy it. And, you know, we're proud of all 3 teams. And out of 3, we got 1 that's in contention of a Super Bowl. Last year at this point, it would have, same thing, it would have only been 1 last year at that time.
Would have been, born.
The Bourne Canalman, who ended up winning 3A. So,
But like Paul said, hey, if you got any suggestions for us, find us right on Facebook.com/Dukes of Sports. Check us out, give us a like, add some comments. We'll get back to you.
okay, what are we going to hit now?
What are we doing there? Oh, we were talking about baseball.
Yeah.
Ellsbury,
Yeah.
you know,
I
they want to
Trouble is we
They
don't
need
know
to
other
trade him for 6 players, 4 starters, and 2 pitchers.
Yeah, no. I remember I made a point a lot of times when I say things to you, I say I read in the paper, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
There were 2 starting pitchers, a shortstop, a first baseman, and 2 outfielders. I mean, that's what they did. I think they weren't saying for Ellsbury.
No,
They were
of
just
course
saying
not.
that's what the Red Sox need. Where
Yeah.
are you going to get
Well,
6 people like that in 1 year?
free agency, and
Not their history.
if there's,
Not their history.
if I don't know, if they think they've got somebody in the minors that's ready to step up.
I think they in the
They get that
in the-
Iglesias
and yeah,
for a
well, he-
shortstop that can field like crazy.
The one I'm worried about is Millbrook because he busted his hand.
Yeah.
I hope the kid comes back. I hope he comes as a superstar. But he did bust his hand, and that could
Sometimes that takes a while.
it did not only take it might his swing might have changed because of the broken hand. I mean, it's anything.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's got to start over. Is what I'm saying. He's got to start over to prove himself again.
Well, they could always bring Euclid back, right?
You can, yeah. Do you know that Euclid played in the Canal Cup?
Yeah.
Canal Cup.
Cape Cod League.
Yeah, in the Cape Cod League for the Bourne Braves.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard he was a pain in the ass then too.
Was he?
Yeah. Well,
I know the host
his
family.
personality.
I know the host family that had him, and they from Bourne. I just recently found that out. The host family. I knew he was with the Bourne Braves.
yeah.
I think that's his makeup. That is definitely his makeup.
Well, it has to be.
I've said this for years. I remember going to a Cape League game in the 90s, and those kids were one step away. Well, let me put it in 2 brackets. One step away from being in the major leagues, because that's a good caliber ball, and 1 step away from being obnoxious. And
Yeah.
high-strung ball players.
Well, they're young. I mean, most of those kids are college freshmen and sophomores.
Right, and they can make it to the junior year, but it's basically freshman, sophomore, but they can't play as seniors. They can play into their junior year too.
Yeah.
So I know that. But they're so they're so talented, and if you ever went to a Red Sox game and sat, like one time I was fortunate, the on-deck circle was that chair. And I was right here, the wall was like here. You could yell 99% of the time, yell at that chair, say anything you want to that chair. And the guy I remember is Boggs. And that man was like, they're so
Tune it out.
tunneled.
Yeah.
They're so tunneled, you gotta be tunneled. If they got rabbit ears, as we used to call it when we were kids, that you hear a guy yell, "Hey, Perry, you're a bum." You can't do that in pro, I mean, but they're so, tunnel vision. And those Cape Cod League, I know you had who'd you have, the general manager of the
for
Braves?
the Bourne Braves, Chuck Sturtevant.
Okay.
Yeah, he's their GM. He's been with the league for close to 30 years, but like 20 of them, he was with Falmouth. And but lots of stories and
I can imagine. We just said one right there. If you had your host parents of all these years that had these kids, we'll say from 1990, because I had them 2 years, 91 and 92, 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I got some stories, the good ones.
yeah.
But I can imagine these are kids. They're all at that time 99%, actually 100%,
Well-
all D1 schools,
Yeah,
all D1.
but he
I can imagine some of the stories.
oh, well, just because of the years that he's been involved with the league, the reputation of the league. I mean, it's probably, the best amateur league in the country.
Right.
Because they still use the wooden bats and, a lot of those kids, make the majors.
There's-
But he's got a lot of contacts within Major League Baseball, and that's where a lot of the really good stuff comes from.
I can imagine all the whispers that the story. Not downgrading the Cape League, but there's 2 more comparable to them, and one is in Alaska, believe it or not, that we don't see much about it, but if you broke it down, and I think the other one's down south someplace.
Yeah.
But and you would think like Arizona would be one, but it's not. There's one in Alaska. The kids go over and play ball, same comparable, and all these kids are, like I said, one notch away. But I can imagine some of the stories
Well,
that guy had.
yeah. Well, I mean, the Cape League, you know, I mean, just they've got. It seems like every team has the coach or the manager rather has his contacts with certain colleges.
Yeah.
And but I mean, there's kids coming from a little bit from New England,
Very little.
more Connecticut than Mass, but a lot of them are coming from you know, down the East Coast, like in the Carolinas,
Well-
Florida. Some coming from California, from Texas.
Michigan is a big one.
You know,
He was born.
but-
He could have told you that. Michigan, Tulane, the LSU, Southern. Oh, I know because I know that's where
Yeah.
some of my. Actually, those are two of the schools I had. Was Michigan State, not university.
Yeah.
Michigan State.
I
And I
haven't
say that.
noticed anybody recently from there.
Yeah, that was born affiliation. They had Tulane. Was a big one.
But see, no, I don't remember anybody from Tulane. But there's probably a different manager now than.
Right. I don't know if it's the man. It is
the manager.
managers, but it's also the organization too. But the Cape League itself, they have a. Let's face it. If everybody knows about the Cape League who's involved in baseball. Say, in other words, like you just said, school number 2 in South Carolina, and they get a phone call. Say, look, we're looking for some ball players to come up play up here in the Cape League, and that school is well aware of the Cape League.
Yeah.
They all help
Well,
each other.
a lot of these managers, I mean, they know
Right.
the coaches, these college coaches.
Right.
And some have close relationships with a few of them.
Right. Belichick's got that with college.
And yeah, it was like, hey,
Right, in the pros.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, exactly.
Is, you know, Alabama's like a professional team.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it must be so easy for him, Nick Saban, to recruit.
He isn't the only one, but you're right.
No,
Schools
but-
like that.
But yeah, you know,
Equivalent.
yeah. Hey, we won the national championship last year. We're undefeated this year. I've got a freaking pipeline to the NFL for crying out loud.
Sure.
But in any event,
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
So I mean, there's a reason why kids are coming from all over the country to play
On the Cape.
on the Cape in the summer, and they play quite a few games in a very short period of time. I mean, once their season starts, they have very few off days,
They have one day a week that's scheduled
and
off.
you
6
know.
days a week, they have one scheduled off.
Yeah.
Once you get a couple rain things in there, that fouls up that 1 day schedule.
yeah, which they did have
Right.
last summer.
And, the kids get, stick in, they try to find them local jobs. But,
Yep.
they, for years, and I don't know how if Bourne is advanced, there was the haves and the have-nots. Bourne was a have-not because they used to play all their games in the daytime.
Well, not anymore.
No, that's what I said. And they never drew because they played at Mass Maritime, which is one of the coldest places you want to go
Yeah.
in the middle of the summer. When it's hot, that's where you want to go
Yeah.
because there's a breeze. But
No, they're right on.
now they're
the tech school.
at
Got the lights.
they're at the Baby Boomers School
Yeah,
in the back.
yeah. No, they got a
Have
nice.
you gone up there to watch any
Oh,
games?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Sure.
I didn't realize that.
Sure.
Yeah. They were building the football field when you probably went to watch
Yeah.
the game.
But no, they got a nice field, and
Yeah.
they most of their games during a week are at 6 o'clock, but
they got lights.
They do a good job. Oh yeah,
The Cape League is, I've
So-
always, like I say, I go back to 90, 91, 92 that I had kids stay at my home. Actually, I forgot I had the year after that I had 91, 92, and 93. Then I just stopped. And that's another thing, if fans had the opportunity to be host parents for these kids, let me tell you, 99%, I always use like my percentage, great kids. And if you had a kid, say you host them, and you had a kid that turned out to be a little unmanageable or anything, and he did things you can't, that Cape League, all you had to do is say something to somebody. The kid either straightened out in one day, he was gone.
Oh yeah. No, they're pretty no nonsense. Like
No nonsense, because let's face it, they're there to be showed.
right. And,
if
these kids, like if they get stopped for DUI,
Yeah. Anything. We'll just say you're a host parent.
they're
and all
on
of
their
a
way
sudden,
home.
They just you have rules. They're like any kid that in college. They can't, like my house. I gave them the rules. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do, and you treat them like you would want your own child if your kid went halfway across the country.
Yeah.
But if I say, don't do something, don't do it. And if you, like anything, you kind of bend, but you do it twice, then you say, look, Randy, then you go to the league, you go to your local franchise, and you say, look, this guy just will not do this, and they'll speak to him. They'll give the kid 24 hours to straighten out, and if he doesn't, they just say, thank you, hope you enjoyed your time on the Cape. We've got guys waiting to come and play here.
Yeah.
And that's the draw. Plus, the draw is, did you ever go there with the scouts were there?
You got the scouts.
Have you been there with all the
Yeah.
guns?
Yeah, you see them more towards the second half of
Yeah.
the season, because
Right.
the first half of the season,
First half's too cold.
well, yeah, and they're just not up to speed.
Right. Well, the kids got to adjust
Well, Chuck tells
the bats.
the batters, because these kids are used to using aluminum.
Sure they are.
He said, figure your batting average is going down 100 points,
100 points, sure.
you know.
Easily. But even more, if you're hitting, say, 450, 475 in college, it's even going down more than 100 points, because you're not going to hit 375 in the Cape League.
No, well, plus, you know, in college, you might face a team that's got one real good pitcher.
Now,
Well, the Cape League, you know, they've got pretty much the cream of the crop.
did I tell you that story, or you
So-
got it off your head on that one?
No, it's the truth. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, every team's probably got 3 or 4 decent starting pitchers, you know, that would be the aces
Okay.
of their college staff.
You're right, 100%. Can I interject on that?
Well, you're gonna anyway.
Yeah, in the first year I had the kids, I had 2 kids from Michigan State. Get to know them. Both names was Steve. Sitting in my house one day, he says, hey, Mr. Perry, he says, this Cape League is something else. He says, what's that? He says, I play at State, Michigan. He says, when we play a game and we face the top pitcher, when we knock that top pitcher out of the game, he says, they've got nothing else as a backup. The Cape League, he says, the starter gets knocked out, the relievers are better, just as good as the starters.
Oh, yeah.
He says, it's unbelievable. So it's what you just said.
Yes.
So you're pitching.
So it's good.
Is it-
Yeah, the caliber of pitching
Oh,
is better than you're used to seeing, and they're using wood instead of aluminum.
Yeah, and it's almost like I told you that story, but that is the truth. The kid
And,
from Michigan
you know,
State.
these long fly balls would have been home runs. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, the kid that's 5'6" hits the ball 425 feet
Yeah.
because he got an aluminum bat.
Yeah.
Right? No, that's the truth.
So
I hate aluminum
What
bats.
do you think? You got any word on what's going on with hockey? I haven't heard that they're doing anything.
They're talking.
They're talking.
They're talking. I just saw it. I didn't even read the whole article in
I
the
mean,
paper.
are they
You're getting
actually?
close to ending?
Yeah, we got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
serious?
they're talking. They've already lost the Classic game this year. And where was the Classic game supposed to be this year?
Yeah, no, I heard
Jeez.
it, but I can't remember.
Same here. I heard it too.
But
It was Detroit was involved again.
I have no idea. You can guess all you want. I'm still gonna have no idea.
I heard it too. The same thing though.
But
But that's gone. And
yeah,
the
but I
Classic,
haven't heard anything
Winter
that
Classic.
there's anything imminent. There's any serious talk that they're getting closer. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, it was 4 years ago they did this, and here they
Yeah,
are
right. Because
doing
that was
it
when
again.
everybody was kind of a free agents, and they try to. And the Bruins were horrible after.
Yeah, because they didn't know what the salary cap was going to be.
Right, and then the guys they had a horrible year when they came back from the strike.
Yeah, because they,
the-
yeah, well, that's,
They did.
I don't think that's the case so much this year, but I still, I mean, it's only been 4 years. They didn't learn their lesson. None of them apparently did. The league, the players.
Hockey management is real tough.
They're stupid
all-
is what it is.
They're stubborn, very stubborn. And I think the players fall in that same caliber. I don't know. How much is enough?
Yeah.
You know?
Did you watch any of the Breeders' Cup horse racing last weekend
No.
from Santa Anita? No. Oh.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who won?
Well, there's a lot.
Did
I
a
mean,
horse win?
Yeah, every day.
Every
they break
day?
it up. Well, they break it up into 2 days. Friday, it's pretty much the fillies and the mares, and then it's
You mean the Phillies and the Mariners?
mares,
Oh.
the 2, 3-year-olds and up, and then colts
It's
and the
child
horses.
abuse. 2 or 3 years?
That's right. But I had a lot of good races, a lot of long shots end up coming
Yeah.
in. But it's fun. They had, like, on Friday, I think, I don't know, there must have been 6, 7 races, and then there was 8 or 9 of them on Saturday. And they finish up with the Breeders' Cup Classic, which
See, I always see horse racing
is
was
a
the
$5
big.
million race.
I always thought it was in the spring, like like the Kentucky Derby and those
well,
three.
it is.
Isn't that a
The
spring?
Triple Crown
Yeah,
is.
the Triple Crown.
But then, well, a number of years ago, they started this fall thing.
See, I didn't
And-
see. That's why I didn't
But it's
know.
big money.
Everything's money.
And, I mean, I think the cheapest race is $500,000.
Yeah.
And there ain't many. Most of them are at least $1 million. Some are $2 million. Some are $3 million. And the last one, the Classic, is $5 million. So, but if you're into that, it's fun. I enjoyed it. Well, hey, we're done. See ya. But we'll be back same time, same place next week. And remember, check us out, facebook.com/Dukes of Sports. And hopefully we'll all have power throughout the end of today.
Yeah.
Today being Wednesday. So hope everyone has a great week. Weather's supposed to turn nicer over the weekend. And that's it. I got no more.
Okay. We'll both be seeing you next week. And like I always say, be a fan.
See ya. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support Community TV. Some of the refreshing and satisfying products offered by Coca-Cola are Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Sprite, Fanta, Dr. Pepper, and Moxie. 125 years and still teaching the world to sing.
Kinlan Grover Real Estate sells and lists more property than any other real estate company on Cape Cod and is pleased to support community television and the Dukes of Sports.
Heritage Floor Covering supports community television and is located in Heritage Park off Route 130 Sandwich. When you look down, we look good. Carpet, vinyl, tile, and laminates. Sales, service, and installation with 40 years experience.
The Sagamore Inn, 1131 Route 6A in Sagamore, is happy to support community television. We are open for lunch and dinner every day and specialize in Italian-American cuisine, fresh native seafood, and specials.
Sandwich Animal Hospital, 492 Route 6A in East Sandwich, is pleased to support community television. We are accredited by the American Animal Hospital Association and offer surgery, dentistry, general, and preventative care. Appointments are available Monday through Saturday, 508-888-2774. Feel free to visit our website.
Sandwich Car Wash is easy to find on Route 130 Sandwich near Coca-Cola, 1.5 miles off Route 6, Exit 2. Save even more with our 1 or 3 month passes for unlimited state-of-the-art washes. We invite you to visit our website, sandwichcarwash.com, open daily.